Now, let's get real here. Our first guest is practically part of the 6 o'clock show family. And when he's not sat here gabbing away with us, Paul Byrom is touring the world, Katia.
He is. Now Paul is returning to one of his first performance loves, musical theatre. And he joins us now to tell us all about it. Paul, welcome back.
Delighted. Thank you so much.
It's great to see you.
I'm liking the winter look tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I dropped into Zara yesterday. And I got myself a jumper, and Captain was like, "That's very autumnal. It's very." I said, "Well, look out the window."
Yes.
And so here we are. It's my autumnal look.
It's very fitting. It's very fitting. Now tell us, how does it feel to dust off the musical theatre shoes?
It's kind of nerve-wracking. I got to be perfectly honest with you. Like, so I've obviously toured for a number of years and just been singing away and doing my own thing and my own show and answering only to myself. And now all of a sudden I have directors and choreographers and music directors shouting at me, and so it's nerve-wracking, it really is, but it's my first love. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember going to see Cats for the first time as a young lad and just falling in love with musical theatre. And so this is kind of just scratching an itch that's constantly there.
Do you have to have a word with yourself when you're so used to being in control of everything yourself, your own shows, and then being part of an ensemble? Do you have to have that sit down with yourself?
You just have to say, Paul,
bite your tongue.
Yeah,
bite your tongue.
You're not going to be the only person in the centre of the stage. You have to share that at some time. So it is a little bit, but it's more an element. I think there's more pressure on you because with my own show, I kind of know it inside out, and I'm very comfortable being myself on stage. So all of a sudden now you're just taking direction. You've got a script to learn and songs to sing, and you have to be on your A game every time you step onto the rehearsal floor, even let alone the stage itself.
Well, speaking of your A game, tell us all about Guys and Dolls and the character you're going to be playing.
Yeah, so Guys and Dolls is opening Wednesday in the National Concert Hall with the Rathmines and Rathgar Musical Society. Now, they're a society that have been in existence in Ireland since, I think, 1913 is off the top of my head. Yeah. So and they've put on every type of show. And I started with them when I was 21. I did the Mikado, the Gilbert and Sullivan stuff, so light opera stuff. And they do the likes of My Fair Lady. They did Oliver last year. This year it's Guys and Dolls. So when the director Gary Montaigne came to me, Gary is very well known in the field. And Gary came to me and said, "Look, Sky Masterson will be a role. You'd love it. Yada yada yada." And it has been a while since I've done musical theatre, and I thought, what, let's do it. Let's go for it.
But also, what a name, Sky Masterson.
Sky Masterson. So Marlon Brando played it in the movie.
Oh wow!
Sinatra played opposite him, and so that was how I suppose people would associate it with Guys and Dolls. But the music in Guys and Dolls is excellent. Like "Luck Be a Lady Tonight," and there's a whole load of great bangers, one after the other. It's a fabulous chorus. The energy that they bring to the stage. And it's just one of those things. Look, there's loads of touring companies that come into Ireland now, which is great. The Bord Gáis put on loads of great shows, but it's great to support our own.
I know.
This is a fully Irish production. We got to get out and support it. Whether you love me or loathe me, that's one thing. But come in and support the Irish. It's a great show. The cast is amazing and the set is stunning. It's going to be a great run. It only runs for 5 nights.
So you got to get the tickets while you can. Now, your character, Sky Masterson, is a bit of a serious bloke. Is that fun tapping into that?
Yeah, well, he's serious enough. He's a bit of a man about town and kind of a little bit of a womanizer. He likes gambling and all that kind of stuff.
Nothing like you.
Nothing like me. Where, the old, reliable, stay-at-home guy.
You're really turning into those acting chops, aren't you now?
I'm trying desperately. But yeah, it's one of those things. The American accent, trying to get on top of the American accent is quite challenging because I start in New York and over the course of the show I'm working my way around the 50 states, So if I could just stay in New York for the 2 hours of the show, it'd be great.
He's Southern by the second act.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
My name is Sky Masterson.
I'm like, what are you talking about, darling?
Blanche from the Golden Girls.
I love it. So I'm trying desperately to be like, cool and bada bing, bada boom,
Now, we of course know you can sing, but what's it been like learning lines again?
Oh, don't even know. It's the script. When I said yesterday, you should really look at the script. If you talk to an actor, the first thing they do is they look at the script before they say yes. I was like, yeah, sounds great. I know those songs. And I just thought I'd come out and just sing my songs and walk off. The script there's a lot. Sky is on the stage a lot. And so learning has been challenging. I have turned the air blue quite a lot in the rehearsal room. I'm not going to lie, but I'm on top of it now. I'm ready to go. We've a full run through tomorrow and Sunday, and it's a full-on schedule rehearsal-wise. There was 100% going into it.
They have you prepped.
They have us prepped. And I feel very comfortable. I'm surrounded. Like, Garode Grant is the musical director. I did my first opera when I was 12 in the National Concert Hall, and Garode was the conductor in that.
Wow.
And he's the conductor in this. As I said, Gary Montaigne is the director of the show. He's starred over in London on the Doily Cart. So I'm in good hands. And they're really encouraging, and the cast are really encouraging.
As we said at the start of the show, it is time. Mariah Carey says it's time. Tell us all about Carols by Candlelight. It sounds fabulous.
So Carols by Candlelight was something I tried 6 years ago in Monkstown Village. There's a lovely little church
I was
right
there
in the
yesterday.
Yeah, it's great.
Stunning.
It's a beautiful place. And I went in there and I did a Christmas show 6 years ago. And it has just grown every year. People come to this Christmas show. It's Carols by Candlelight. And I call it Carols by Candlelight because it looks good in the poster. But it's not just carols. It's like we do all the cheesy Christmas tunes, like from David Essex, A Winter's Tale, to, Jingle Bells and all of that kind of stuff. And we get everybody involved. We obviously have the O Holy Nights and the Ave Marias as well. But it's a lovely just evening of warm Christmas vibe music. People often come to the village early. They have dinner and a few drinks, and then they come over to the church.
They make a night out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always joke, it's in the Protestant church because the heat is on. So it's a lovely place for a gig. But it sells out most years. And so we're excited to have a lovely band. I have Chloe Agnew as my special guest. I know Chloe's a friend of the show. And I had the kids from my stage school coming on to help us do the Jingle Bells and Santa Claus and get the thing going.
We all love Christmas, and Christmas really is a family time. And you've been very open and honest recently about your adoption and how you uncovered the truth. How has that process been for you, Paul, and how have you dealt with the information you found out?
Well, initially, kind of as a bit of a shock, I suppose, for anybody that doesn't know, I had grown up knowing I was adopted, so it wasn't a big revelation to me. And I grew up in a very open and honest family, and my mother is very open and honest. She's like salt of the earth woman, and she always kind of tried to encourage me. Maybe you should go look for your birth mother at some point. But I was just happy in my own being, And we had been told that a very fairy tale story by the Catholic Church, because I was adopted through the Pro Cathedral, and then as I turned 40, I know that's going to come as a shock to some of you at home that I'm that old. But when I turned 40, I wanted to kind of I used to often think, I wonder, does my birth mother think about me much or whatever? I wonder where she is or whatever. And so I went and started the process, but very kind of relaxed and willy-nilly, but of course with the full support of my mom. And then we discovered that all that we had been told, I was told I was born into a private nursing home. And so obviously now then the process started, and I've discovered very quickly that I had actually been born into a mothers and babies home, and that the story of my background was very different to what we'd been told, and we'd been lied to, and so I got very angry initially, but I persevered, and I think that then drove me. What was a very relaxed process, I was more driven than ever then to find her, because I needed to know A, that she was okay, and B, that she wasn't feeling any guilt or anything like that. And I wanted to get to know her, and I'm delighted I did. It was a happy ending because of the fact that she's a lovely woman, and we've built a great friendship, or we're building a great friendship. But it can be very off-putting, I can imagine, for people. It can be very difficult for people. So when I was asked to talk about it, I was happy to do that, because I want people at home to know that you can do an awful lot of good by looking for your birth parents.
And even sharing your story can help so many people out there with similar circumstances.
Yeah, I've had like an overwhelming response on my social media from people, just random people, since it's all kind of come out, just sharing their stories with me. And some of them are heartbreaking. Like, Jesus, they're heartbreaking stories. And, the overwhelming feeling is that this was all so unnecessary. It's just so hard to get the head around just the cruelty of an awful lot of it. So so people have been sharing, and I'm delighted that if I've brought that out, or if I'm encouraging people to go to find their birth parents, well, then that's a win, But more than anything, I think people just need to be able to talk about things. As a country, we often didn't talk about a lot of the serious issues, and we're in a generation now that are.
Let you go, Cillian Murphy's new movie, Small Things Like These, is out today.
Yes.
A lot of interest in this movie. How do you feel about a film like this?
I think it's great. I think more of this is needed. And obviously when somebody like Cillian Murphy takes it on, it's going to be done with great gravitas, and it's going to bring a bit of class to a difficult...
And attention.
And attention. But it needs to. We need to talk about the things that are difficult to talk about, and we need to hold that did these things accountable. They may never stand in a courtroom, but they need to be. The light needs to be shone on them, and let's not shy away from any of these conversations. We as a country need to be more open and more confident in talking about those things.
And thank you for being so open and honest. Give it up for Paul, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. You can catch Paul and Guys and Dolls in the National Concert Hall from the 6th to the 9th of November. Get the tickets while you can. They're available at nch.ie.